Okay, so let's get this started. I'm gonna turn off the music. I should be able to hear you, and you should be able to hear me.
I can hear you.
And for some reason, it's not picking up. I literally just checked this. Oh, I see why. I put the wrong one. I clicked the wrong little eyeball. So it's okay. All right. I must preface this with a message to the company that we're about to talk to about tonight. Please don't copyright this video. Please, for the love of God, be nice to the people who make content for your games and company. Now that that's out of the way, welcome to the Llama Drama Podcast. Today, as you might have guessed it, we are talking about the one, the only Nintendo. Joining me, I have my older brother, Matthew, here to talk with me about anything and everything Nintendo related. Why don't you go introduce yourself, bro, with that Waluigi hat?
Yeah, I had to run upstairs while the music was playing to grab it. But yeah, I'm Matthew. I'm Llama's older brother. I also have a Twitch. You can
Plug it.
yeah, plug my Twitch. You can watch me at twitch.tv/thelordqwerty. Don't have a link ready.
Slash the Lord. I can spell Lord QWERTY. I did it right.
Probably it. Let's see here.
Yeah, it popped up your channel too.
Yeah, that's me.
There we go. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about Nintendo, and as you can see, we got all our Nintendo stuff ready to go. The posters, the Magikarp, the game consoles. We got everything.
It's a Mudkip, bro.
Did I say Mud? What did I say?
You said Magikarp.
Whatever. Mudkip. My bad. I meant Mudkip, but then Magikarp.
Credibility instantly ruined.
Just
my brain.
Out of there. So, bro, we're gonna start with our backstories on Nintendo products. What was your first Nintendo game console / games, all that?
We get a flex now. My first Nintendo game was the combo Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt cartridge for the NES.
Dang.
My parents had that when before you were born, actually.
Oh yeah.
Our parents had that before you were born, and they sold it for a Super Nintendo, which I think actually is the box on your left. There is what they traded it in for.
Yep, most likely, yeah.
And then, of course, the shop that we sold the NES to never sold it. So what was it? 20 years later, they bought it back, and it's now sitting to your left.
It's sitting over there somewhere. That was really funny,
Yeah,
it's over there, that way, which is like the right, but my left. But camera shenanigans, what happens.
Yeah, probably the exact same one. It's at least the same model with
the
combo and the light gun. It's just always really fun when that happens. But then I guess through the years we'll continue here. I had that Super Nintendo, that N64, not that GameCube because my original GameCube's upstairs, in my house, not yours.
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance. I never had a DS, but I had a 3DS.
Damn, that's right. You never did have a
Switch.
DS.
I never did have a DS.
Huh.
I completely missed all of that generation because I bought a PSP. And I was so proud of it because it was like the first console I bought with my own money.
Yeah.
And then of course the DS was just way more popular. So it's like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it was the DS. I got the DS for my birthday. I remember. That was pretty hype. And then they got one for John and Ben on Ben's birthday. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because like you guys would just argue over your DS, and then so when Ben's birthday came up, Mom and Dad were just done with it and had to buy both of them.
Oh, they were ready too.
Yes.
I remember John was like bawling his eyes out. He's like, "Why I don't get a DS for like 6 months?"
Yeah, and then and then they just pull it out.
Then
It's
they
like, no,
pulled it out,
kid,
and he was
stop
like,
crying,
he was like,
please.
I'm instantly better.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but I think
I would.
what I mean, I think I know I erased like all of your save data on many of your consoles.
Yeah, yeah, you were a little gremlin. Still are, still are.
Still are.
I remember you erased. Oh, I think several of my Pokemon saves.
Sure, sure.
You erased my Smash Bros. Melee save several times.
Oh,
Um,
that's rough.
yeah, bud.
Dang. I
Treasure
think I
trove. You still
remember
keep.
deleting one Zelda save for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, then I paid you back. You were having trouble with the water temple one time, I think, when you were in
Yeah.
like middle school, and I accidentally got you stuck in the water temple, so you just had to restart your whole game.
Yeah, you got me soft locked.
I got you
Cause
soft locked in
I
the
remember
water.
you could get soft locked in the water temple.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
If you
so I
did
did
like
that to
some
you.
one of the rooms out of order or something with your key, and then you get like you got stuck and you
Hmm.
couldn't leave.
Yeah, yeah,
I
because
remember
the
that.
only key that you had access to was behind a long shot door, and you just couldn't get to it.
Yeah, you did get me.
That was on accident, by the way.
Oh, sure,
I'm
sure, sure.
sorry. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I mean, I think the first game that I actually was playing was on the Game Boy. You know, I think that's when I was first playing like Pokemon. Those are my games that I actually remember playing on the Nintendo. Cause then at that age
The
I probably
Super
wasn't allowed to play
Nintendo.
any of your shit, so
No, no.
not
Oh no,
anymore.
no.
So that,
Well, yeah.
but let's see. I had my DS, my 3DS. We played your Wii. Then you bought a Wii U. We played that. That sucked. I got it. It's sitting back there. It's back there where it belongs.
That's your Wii U. My
Yeah,
Wii U's
yeah.
upstairs.
This is ours. Cause that way, like you
Yeah,
were moving out, so they got us one or something.
yeah,
And
something like
and
that.
it
Well,
was like, why? It's a terrible console, but
I think I bought it because it came out while I was in college, right? And um, that was already after I had moved out of the dorm, so I had my own apartment. That's
yeah,
where we set it up, and then like that was still when I was coming home for the summer, so I brought it home with me and set it
yeah,
up
yeah.
there.
God, I remember you brought it home and you were playing that stupid zombie game.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember what that was? It was
yeah.
like Zombie U or something like that.
Zombie U,
It
yeah.
was so bad.
I I liked Zombie U. It's just I'm too much of a pansy to play it on my
Oh
own,
yeah, oh yeah.
so
I'm
I
sure
never
now I
gave it.
just like whatever. I'd play it and I'd be like,
Oh yeah,
but it was
yeah.
terrible. It
All
was
right,
just a terrible
Zombie U
game.
stream,
Zombie
Zombie
U
U
stream.
stream.
I do have the display capture, so
Yeah, yeah.
all right. So
And
now, then we both have a Switch,
yeah,
and we both bought 3DSs. I think I went and bought like all the new 3DS and everything back in the day when they had the new little thing.
oh, yeah, that's what I should have brought down. I should have brought down my 2DS. Have you seen my 2DS?
Yeah, the
The
Japanese one.
green one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that one is
Yeah.
really cool.
That one's a fun one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like run upstairs and grab a couple of things at some point,
All right. But
completely unprepared.
which consoles were your least favorite and which ones were your favorite? Like least favorite console, favorite console.
It's hard to pick like a least favorite console, right? Because I
I think it's
played
pretty
all of
easy.
them. Well, honestly, the NES was probably my least favorite console. Just because, well, one, I didn't have it for too long, and
Sure.
I was 5 when we sold it.
Sure.
Not a whole lot of game time there. Um, we only had the one cartridge,
Oh,
and then
damn.
just yeah, because it was a combo
Yeah,
cartridge,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, but then even as I grew up and played on other people's NESs, because like Sylvia still had one,
Yeah, yeah.
so I played on that one occasionally. Just wasn't that much good stuff on it that
Mm-hmm.
I played. The only game that, like, the two games that I really got into, of course, were the two Zelda games.
Sure.
Um, and there's just the NES was one of those consoles that was definitely like a Nintendo Power console, right? They had these games and they were just insanely difficult, and they had these obscure little hidden things that you had to buy the guides for.
Yeah.
And in a way that's cool, right? Because you get that playground. Oh, hey, if you do the up up down down left right BA start on Contra, you get infinity lives or however many lives you got.
Yeah.
Um, but at a certain point, it's just like gratuitous. And maybe that's why I'm bad at video games, is because I never played on the
Because
NES
you,
too much.
'cause you never played it.
Yeah, I was a Super NES kid. When I was 5, we moved, we sold the NES, we bought a Super NES, and that's what I had most of my games on. So
And
I think that
over
goes
here
without saying. That's
somewhere.
probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did take that one back, so you have that.
Yeah. I think we got it
Um,
over there.
yeah, it's somewhere
You
downstairs.
know. Oh, and then we have
Um,
the SNES Mini down here as well.
yeah, yeah,
So.
yeah. Those mini consoles are pretty sweet, especially if you mod them.
Yeah.
Um, well, it's like so. All right, and then favorite console,
Yeah. Let's go favorite.
probably the Game Boy Advance, honestly,
Wow.
because
That's fair.
it could do Game Boy, it could do Game Boy Color, it could do Game Boy Advance, of course. The later models had rechargeable batteries and lit screens, back or front lit.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was a front lit. Your guys had backlit. Um, the games on it were just fantastic. The Game Boy aesthetic I really liked. I'm one of those insufferable pixel art people, I guess. Just plays all the low
Insufferable.
poly pixel. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and I just had a lot of fun with that game. You playing with the shitty little pen light that plugged into the link cable port, and just like shone down onto your screen. It was just awful, an awful light. I'm sure I was the number one user of batteries in our house um,
Just plugging
from
it,
like
just
19. Oh
plowing
yeah,
them in.
I was the number one user of batteries in our house probably from 1997 until when did the SP even come out? I don't even remember.
It's around 2004 ish, I think.
Probably until 2005 because I didn't get one right away.
Because the DS came
Dad,
out in
Dad,
2004. So.
Dad was. Oh, then it would have been like '02 because there were a couple years before the
Oh,
DS
okay.
came out. The SP was a thing. So, Dad was very against getting me a second Game Boy Advance for the longest time. Until one day I pointed out to him, it's got a rechargeable battery, right? You're never gonna have to buy double A's again. And then the next week, not the next week, like for my birthday that year, I think I got one. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really funny to me.
He's like,
But
hell yeah.
then one thing I also just really like is right here. I did remember to bring down. It's my Game Boy Micro. You don't see these two very often.
Oh
The
yeah.
little Game Boy Advances. These ones don't do Game Boy Color,
Only
but
the
they're
advance.
fantastic for Game Boy Advance games. The screen has a higher DPI just because it's smaller,
Sure.
so everything's just really nice and crisp. The backlight was really good. Um,
Even though it was a freaking tiny little screen.
oh yeah, tiny little screen, but the DPI was better, so
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
was smoother.
Sure. Give and take here and there.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't even know what would be my favorite and least favorite. Ooh. Because what? Which one did I play on the most? Would probably be the
DS, wouldn't it?
it'd be either the DS line, which would include the 3DS, or the Switch, honestly, because I did play a lot of Switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it probably had to be DS. DS was the goat for me. It was pretty awesome. Least favorite though would have to be the Wii U. It was terrible.
The Wii U has some really fun games on it. Like Smash Bros for Wii U was really fun.
It was better than
The
the Smash Bros for Wii.
Yeah, Nintendo Land was actually really fun. I enjoyed the heck out of that.
Sure.
Um, it had a like the games that actually supported it did it really well. Breath of the Wild was a Wii U game first.
True. Goated console.
Yeah,
Goated.
yeah. And like you can tell it was designed with the Wii U in mind too. Because like the Sheikah Slate, that's not a Switch, that's a Wii U gamepad. Yeah, it's
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
like the start menu and stuff is just it could have been on the gamepad. I was really disappointed when they took that away.
You know,
Because like Wind Waker on the Wii U, Wind Waker HD was a fantastic game.
yeah, true.
Had the start menu on the gamepad, so you just play and then you had to like change weapons in combat while looking at both screens. It was hard.
It was actually the gamepad was really nice to be honest, but it was just a bad console.
No, well, so one thing that I reminded myself of recently, the Wii U and 3DS eShops shut down
It did
earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can still, I think, update your games and like re-download the ones you have. Maybe, I don't know, but no more
I
buying.
don't know. Yeah, you definitely can't buy that's for sure. Pirate City
Um,
going after that, huh?
well, so speaking of, one thing that I've been doing a lot lately is hacking my consoles. Talk about getting demonetized by the big N. Um,
I make no money anyways. So
but so in order to actually like, so what I did with the Wii U is I hacked it, of course, and then I
sure.
ripped all my games. And oh boy, something that reminded me of it, the storage on the Wii U is so slow. Holy crap! It takes forever to do anything. It's
Was it? It was still a
like
hard
a
drive back
solid.
then, huh?
Uh, it was an eMMC,
Oh.
so it's like a big SD card in there, basically,
Hmm.
and it's just awful. It's so bad, and I remember that through my rose tinted goggles,
Sure.
always being a thing that I hated about the Wii U was the long load times. Like it would take a solid 30 seconds to boot a game sometimes.
I think I
Um,
do remember that.
yeah, and it was just so bad.
Was that
But
only on the downloaded games, or would that be on the
oh no, no, that was on disc
everything?
games too. Oh yeah,
Oh,
it was so bad. They made it a bit better later on, but it was still just
that's just Wii U
awful,
for you, bro.
awful. Yeah, yeah,
You know,
and
speaking of that, fuck the Wii. I just want to say fuck the Wii U. But keep going, keep going.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, now I have all of my Wii U games ripped and they're installed on the console, and
If only you could
I
put
can load
better
them off a
storage on
hard.
there.
So much. Oh, you
Oh, you
can,
can. Oh,
yeah, you can attach USB drives.
oh,
Um,
it's true. They did have those on those ones, huh?
yep. So you can do that. It's
We have a
funny though
Switch. I don't
because
know.
the Wii U like keeps the hard drive active when it's in sleep mode, so you have to like unplug it or it'll just destroy your drive, which is really funny to me. Oh yeah, yeah, no, just unplug it
They
because it like continuously checks for updates and stuff. It's really bad. The Wii U was it
bad
was a
bad
fun
console.
console,
It was
fun
fun for the
console.
enthusiast only.
Yeah. So I still have. I was thinking about wearing it. I still have my Burger King crown from when the Wii U came out. They had like these little Mario themed Burger King
Oh
crowns. I still have it. It's
no.
upstairs. Yeah,
I don't think as a white guy you can ever wear a Burger King crown anymore.
which is why I'm wearing the Waluigi mask.
He ruined it for all of us, didn't he?
He ruined it for all of us, man.
But
It's
so Breath of the
I
Wild,
like that.
Breath of the Wild came out on the Switch. Tears of the Kingdom is next. Let's talk about it. Release date next month, May
Next
12th.
month, May 12th.
Less than a month away. Did you
I took
pre-order
the
it?
day off. Oh yeah, I yeah, I pre-ordered it. Took the day off. I'm gonna show up at GameStop as soon as they open.
Oh yeah,
Grab my physical copy,
same.
which means I get to sleep in a little bit because they don't open till 10.
It's true.
Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna get like that day and like 2 extra days off for that release, and I'm gonna be streaming it all day.
yeah,
It's gonna be
I
so much
probably
fun.
will be as well.
But I remember I need to like get just off top. I need to request the wedding days off. I need to ask about that.
Yep, yep. I don't. I think I have to request the Friday before off for
Oh,
our cousin because we're gonna drive up that day. It's all the way in.
it's like an 8 hour
But yeah,
drive, but
yeah.
whatever. Hype. We both pre-ordered it, so that means we're probably both really hyped. I've watched like all the trailers and the gameplay. What's your favorite? Like, what are you most hyped about for it so far?
So, I mean, most of what I'm hyped about is just, oh, hey, new Zelda game to play, right?
Yeah.
I've played all of them except for Oracle of Ages and Seasons, which I have, but I've never played. Um, I'm just hyped for the continuation of the lore
Oh,
for
that's
the
gonna be
most
nice.
part. I wanna see how big of a hole Nintendo can dig for themselves with this one. Um, because like Zelda lore is already screwed
It's
up
so
because of what they
bad.
did in the Hyrule Historia um, with Ocarina of Time, and since that came out, when Skyward Sword launched, they haven't updated it yet for anything that happened after Skyward Sword, which is just Breath of the Wild, I think. Is that right?
I think they updated it virtually, but not
No.
like the book.
Oh, have they updated it
I, I,
virtually?
I thought
Have they updated?
I thought they said that that one was like the first Zelda game, so it's like at the very top
Yeah,
of
yeah,
some of
yeah.
them.
And
Yeah,
that's why when the Hyrule story came out, that's what it was. It was the first Zelda game,
yeah. But
and that's
they
because
haven't put Breath of the Wild in there yet, though. I don't think.
yeah. Here's Skyward Sword link right there in the middle. Yeah.
It's a good link. I like that
Um.
game.
I. All right, we're talking about best and least favorite Zelda games after this because
Okay,
I
okay.
disagree.
Oh,
Um. But like in the most recent trailer, a lot of the scenes that are in it show Link like either running around or grouped up with a whole bunch of other characters. So I'm kind of
hmm.
wondering. Some of them didn't look like cutscenes, like especially the one where he's jumping up in the air with the little Rito kid next to him.
Oh,
That
okay.
didn't look like a cutscene, so I'm wondering
Hmm.
if we're gonna get like a little buddy system going on. Um, that's gonna be interesting because I don't think they've done that since Wind Waker.
Wind Waker, yeah.
Wind Waker was a two-player game. I hope you all know that.
Yeah, you have your little brother play with you.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, I think
Was
you
it?
did,
Did
didn't
I
you?
play with you? Who
I
knows?
don't
I took
remember. I
pictures
played it a
on
lot with
the.
a friend. No, so in Wind Waker, for the GameCube, they had that Game Boy Advance link cable, right?
Yeah,
One end plugged into a controller slot in the GameCube, and the other plugged into the link cable slot in the Game Boy
yeah.
Advance. And you could download a game onto your Game Boy and play on it. And there were only a couple of games that used that. Wind Waker was one of them. The Game Boy player could play as Tingle,
Tinkle, yeah, yeah.
and you could like drop bombs or give Link potions. Um, and it was really great because it was like a help, and there was like the scavenger hunt thing that you could do with Tingle, and Tingle would like give you hints and stuff. I don't remember. but Tingle was only allowed in places that had maps. So Ganon's Tower does not have a map. You couldn't take Tingle inside the last dungeon at all. Um,
Cowards.
a lot of the islands' internals didn't have maps, like a lot of the caves didn't have
Oh
maps.
yeah.
Um, so it wasn't the best, but
Wasn't
it
the
was
best.
a way that you could play with two players in a Zelda game.
But it allows you to do the speed run,
Yes, yeah.
so you can
So there's that.
around
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, because you get bombs so early with Tingle because he just has them. So you just have bombs.
All right, bro. Since we're on it, Least favorite and favorite Zelda game. Just hit me with it. Just tell me that Skyward Sword is your least favorite.
Skyward Sword sucks. Fight me. Favorite Zelda game? It's kind of a toss up between a couple.
Sure.
Um, I really like Link to the Past. I really like Four Swords Adventures for the GameCube, and I really like Wind Waker. I
That's
think those are
fair.
probably my top three.
Dang. For me, I'm not a big fan of any of the 2D Zelda games, to be honest. I don't think I've beat a single one of them. But I've beaten every 3D Zelda game.
What a super.
That's pretty. Even I even bought the Switch remake for the which one, Link's Awakening, and I didn't beat it.
Mm,
I should probably go back and beat that.
that's pretty fun.
But mine would probably have to be Ocarina of Time. That's pretty normie. Normies like that's not really even Zoomer because I think it's older than I am.
It is, yeah.
So that one's my favorite.
Well, Link to the Past is like a month older than I am, so
There you go.
it came out 31 years ago last month. So just dated myself. I guess.
he's
That's fine.
like he's like, bro,
Yeah,
birthday's coming up, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when is that birthday so we can all drop you some Twitch primes, huh?
It was 2 months ago. Sorry, Mister. Yeah.
Yeah, it's truly my dog's birthday, not yours, so don't. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true.
Oh wait, all right. So we talked about
But
Zelda games.
well, we
Least
can.
favorite. I need your least
Yeah.
favorite.
All right. Least favorite Skyward Sword. I hate Skyward Sword.
Oh
I
no!
played it once. I disliked it. I was so stoked for Skyward Sword. I bought it. I got a launch copy with the golden
With
Wiimote.
the gold, yeah, we still have it, or
Yeah,
you
I
probably have
still
it.
have it. Yep, it's upstairs. Um, I came home like at midnight and was just playing it. I think because it came out like the day that spring break started or
Oh
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So I came home that night and was just playing it in my parents' basement when they woke up. So they just like woke up and came downstairs and when'd you get here, Matthew? 1 in the morning?
Yeah, it was fall break. Fall break.
Fall break, yeah, okay. So Thanksgiving break then, I guess. Um yeah, so that was a fun time. I beat it like not that day, but the day after, I think. And I will say, I think that's the only Zelda that's the first Zelda final boss since Ocarina of Time that has actually killed me.
It was a
So that
hard
was impressive.
one.
Well, it was like artificial difficulty though
With
because the
the
Wiimote
yeah,
controls were so
they were so
bad.
bad.
And since I'd been playing just like 20 hours straight at that point, my arm was just
You're
like
like
dead. I beat him second try, I think.
second try.
Demise. Yeah.
That was it. That was a
And
good
also
fight though. I don't
it
know.
it was, yeah, the arena was neat, like how you got there was
Yeah.
neat-ish.
Yes.
Um but one thing that I don't like about Skyward Sword is just it's they kind of like take a turn with the lore right at Skyward Sword.
Sure.
Like it's not the three goddesses anymore. It's the one, which is Zelda apparently for some reason. It's not Ganondorf, it's Demise, who's also Ganondorf,
But like not really.
but not really. And like it alludes to all of this stuff that happens before that sounds like it'd be a cool Zelda game. And there's these ancient civilizations there, but it's also the first Zelda game. So you know they're not gonna go make anything before that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just kind of in an awkward spot. The overworld design I didn't like. The Sea of Clouds was boring,
That's fair. That's fair. The wa- the
and
the
then
water of Wind Waker had more personality.
it did. It did.
It's fair.
It
It's
was
fair.
bigger for one. There was more stuff in it for two. Like each island had something. It wasn't much, but it had something. Um, and then like a quarter of the Sea of Clouds was blocked off by that super cell that you went into late game.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but then like the overworld design, like the actual on ground overworld design, I didn't like too much because it was basically just like three big dungeons. Like because the way they organized it was like you get down to where the Temple of Time is, where Demise's pit is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of like go off in one of three directions, and then it's basically just a dungeon from there on in, but it's not a dungeon yet.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
Gosh, it's been forever since I played it. I should replay that again with the Switch controls
Yeah,
because you
I
can
haven't
switch
played
it
it
to
since it came out.
like the Switch movement, but that's beside the point. Um, my least favorite Zelda game.
Yeah, which 2D
Yeah,
is
which
it?
any of the 2D to be honest. I've literally never beaten a single one. I just get to a point and I'm like I have no clue what to do anymore, and I just
Yeah,
I would just give up, and that's essentially what it came down to. And then I was playing like the Link Awakening. I was playing it on like, on stream or something, and then I like got bored and started playing something else. I don't know. I'm too zoomer for that, but too boomer for the new stuff, right? I'm in this weird middle ground.
well, you're getting Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild,
It's
right?
true.
So
I'm so excited for Tears of the Kingdom.
it's gonna be fun. What? So all right, I'm gonna ask you a question
Okay.
now.
Okay.
I think we're pretty much like 100%. It's gonna be the same overworld as Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
but with the addition of the floating stuff and maybe something underground. I guess.
Sure.
We don't know how expansive either of those are going to be. But what's your take on just releasing a Zelda game with the same overworld as the previous one?
The $70
Is this going to be a
DLC.
DLC?
Oh
Yeah,
man. If they change all of the shrines, and all the dungeons are new, and I heard that some of the quests were going to be the exact same. I heard that some of them were going to be the exact same quest you had to do back in the thing.
I know.
But honestly, I from the looks of it, it looks like there's going to be more than enough to do, and I haven't played it in 6 years. Or what? Yeah, it came out 6 years ago. Yeah. It's going to be like if I just played Breath of the Wild again. Almost. It'd be like almost fresh because it's been 6 years since I played it.
Yeah,
So, because I didn't really even play the DLC that came out for Breath of the Wild.
yeah. So that's something that I'm doing is I'm going back and playing the DLC now.
So,
Plug my stream again.
yeah,
Every now and again. I haven't streamed for a while,
for a while.
but I have a modded Breath of the Wild that I've been playing through. So I
Which is pretty
think
cool. I was thinking about
Yeah.
doing it. I was thinking, but I was like, no, I'll get burned out on it. And when it actually comes, I'll like try to. I'll be like playing it, and I'll be like, I don't really want to do everything. I'll just play the main story and then like, just beat it. And I don't want to do that. I want to play like I want to milk my $70 out of that thing. You know,
Yeah. Well, that is
DLC.
one of the fun things because it looks like they're completely redoing all of the abilities, right? You don't
Oh,
have
all the
your
new ones.
magnesis, your stasis, your bombs. You've got whatever it is, the time rewind,
The, it's
poke your head
cool.
through the ceiling, the glue stuff together.
I saw one comment. And it was like they're just taking bugs and making it into features. So they probably saw it as a bug during development and just turned it into a feature.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
can
be
see that.
surprised. So I'm super hyped for my $70 DLC. Um, they've never made a bad Zelda game, like a bad 3D Zelda game, bad rated game. What I mean, okay, Zelda games rated.
That is a good question. I don't know what they score on these things.
Let's see. Okay, so Triforce Heroes has a 73 on Metacritic.
Right, I forgot. I always forget about that one.
They didn't. Zelda 2 didn't get one because that was before it, I guess somehow. But the regular one has it. So the classic, right?
Zelda once had several re-releases.
So Zelda 1 has an 84.
Two has two though.
Then Four Swords Adventures was an 86. Then Spirit Tracks was an 87. Minish Cap was an 89. Link's Awakening had a TBD, I guess.
Minish Cap is very good.
Phantom
That's one that you
Hourglass.
should play.
This is probably one of my least favorite ones. I hated Phantom Hourglass and all those stupid
Really?
DS ones. I hated that game. I think I soft locked myself somehow. I was like stuck in like the dungeon thingy and it like wouldn't let me leave and I kept dying. I don't know. It was super weird. I hated those games. Let's see. Link Between Worlds 91. Oracle Seasons and Ages 92. Link to the Past doesn't have one. Skyward Sword 93. You know, it's a good game. It was a good game. 95 for Link to the Past.
I think Nintendo paid those reviewers off.
No, no. 95 Majora's Mask. 95 Twilight Princess. 96 Wind Waker. 97 Breath of the Wild. Now that one was paid off to get everyone to shit on it. Then 99 Ocarina of Time, and that one's the top one.
You go back to favorite Zelda games for a bit. There's honorable mention there for Twilight Princess because I think
It was good.
that's the only Zelda game I've ever played where it actually makes you feel like you're in there making a difference, being a hero. All the other ones, you're just some loony in a green hat that's running around smashing.
That's fair. Yeah.
But like, not Nighthammer with the hat.
Even Breath of the Wild, it was like you were just running around for the most of the time.
Like it tries kind of, but Breath of the Wild is by design so light on narrative.
Yeah.
That it just can't. And the problem with both Breath of the Wild and Link Between Worlds is because they don't have the linear narrative, right? They oh, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Because they don't have the linear narrative, it's hard to actually tell a story. They can tell it at checkpoints. Like in Link Between Worlds, it's basically separated into two phases, right? You got your beginning, then there's after you beat the three dungeons and you go into the dark world, and then there's the end.
Sure.
And it can tell story at each of those 3 points, but
in between,
not a whole lot that happens in the middle.
Same thing for Breath of the Wild. Is like if you really wanted it to, the whole story was you woke up, you found a stick, and you went and beat Ganon's ass. That's
Yeah,
the whole story if you wanted it to be.
that's the story. And then like some chick just falls out of the sky, and you're like, oh sweet, who are you?
I heard her voice at one point or something. I don't know. Who
Maybe
knows?
are you the voices in my head?
But basically, you see, that's why I was like, after Breath of the Wild, I was like, they're gonna make Breath of the Wild too. I really want them to make another 3D formula Zelda game again. But I don't know if we're ever gonna get that.
It's yeah, it's a weird one because like Breath of the Wild and the Switch um just took off
Yeah.
so far and beyond Nintendo's expectations, I think, that it would be a terrible decision to not follow up,
Yeah, yeah.
which of course they're doing, right, with Tears of the Kingdom. So maybe this one won't do as good and they'll go back to something more traditional. Or maybe, Aonuma, um, who's the head of
The head,
Zelda,
yeah.
um, will be like, yo, peace, let's make a new one, like an old one or something. Maybe they'll, with all these remasters, they'll make a Ocarina of Time remastered. Include a bunch of cut content, different crap like that.
See, it's like I really want Tears of the Kingdom to be good because I'm gonna play it, but I also really want it to be bad so I get another formulaic Zelda game.
Yeah,
Because
well,
I feel like they could do it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
and we have been kind of getting them in the form of remakes, right?
Yeah.
But those are remakes, and as someone who's been playing the games as they came out,
Yeah.
not really a whole lot in there besides fancier graphics.
Yeah. Yeah. If they ever do come out with Phantom or Wind Waker and Twilight Princess for the Switch, who knows?
I thought they did do Twilight Princess for this.
No,
No,
this is Skyward Sword.
for the Switch, yeah.
Oh man. And it's like they already have it to Wii U. I'm sure it would take like 5 minutes of dev time to move it to the Switch, but
Different. So that's one of the fun things about the move between Switch and Wii U, and why there's not a whole lot of like backwards compatibility or anything. Because the Switch, the Wii U, I think was, I want to say it was a PowerPC CPU architecture, and the Switch is an ARM. So they're like two completely different instruction sets. It's like dragging something from your phone to your PC, which is certainly doable these days, right? But
back in the day, it was like
if it wasn't built for it originally, then it can't.
Sure.
Like all of these cross-platform games that come out between the two are made that way on purpose.
Yeah.
My Bloons Tower Defense 6 thought ahead.
Bloons Tower Defense 6. I'm on the advanced section right now. I've cleared all the way through on just like doing easy, normal, hard.
Oh, nice. So you cleared all of intermediate?
So I've done all of the easy, intermediate, and now I'm making my way through advanced.
Nice.
But
the advanced ones are hard.
Have you heard of some of the Switch 2 leaks as of recently, within like the last week, sort of stuff?
Within the last week, no, but within like the last month, yes.
There was somebody was like it was like the Switch 2 dev kit, but I don't know if it was real or not. But somebody came out with that, and I haven't watched it yet.
After a while, it's just kind of like, man, there's been Switch 2 or Switch Pro rumors like
forever,
every other week since 2019. I'm done with this. I'm gonna have my Switch until 2030, when it finally blows up because the battery popped, and then I'm just gonna get a new one.
Because the whole thing was like they were planning on doing a Pro, but then they saw like how well the cheaper stuff was doing, and they made the light instead and all
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
then they just were like,
S-
it's so close to Switch 2, they're like, well, we're not going to make Switch Pro anymore.
Yeah, so because what I did hear was that there was a Switch Pro in development, but they decided not to do it,
Yeah.
and instead just focus on a Switch 2. Hey, who knows how reliable all these leakers? It would not make sense for Nintendo not to do a Switch 2.
It would not make sense.
And like for a lot of their previous consoles, they've done a mid-life refresh, is what that would be called, a Switch Pro.
Yeah, yeah.
So like for the Super Nintendo, it was kind of baked into the system because with the Super Nintendo, the cartridges had co-processors in them. So like Star Fox, for example, the reason it's in 3D is because the cartridge has the processing power to make that happen.
Hmm.
It doesn't have anything. Well, it does, but it doesn't have anything to do with the console itself. There's a second, and that's why emulating the Super Nintendo is so hard, because not only are you emulating the console, but you're emulating all those co-processors, and then there's sound processors that you have to do too. The
I didn't know that.
N64, they had the expansion pack. Oh, yep, yep. Yeah, Super Nintendo's insane. It's a really cool console, technically. N64, they had the expansion pack, was just more RAM. GameCube, I don't think they had anything, but Game Boy, you can kind of call like the Game Boy Color a midlife
No,
refresh, but it didn't really
GameCube,
work
they
like
did do
that.
something. They it was all it had to do with the stuff on the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's not like an upgrade though.
It
That
was more
was
of like
just
a
kind of like a,
downgrade
yeah,
because
it
they took
was
it all
actually
off.
a downgrade.
But
But
they
like
did do
that one you've got
something.
there, yeah, that's an original you have there.
Yeah.
Um, can tell just by looking. But so what they did is I think they took the network port off the bottom. It's underneath one of those flaps,
Yeah.
and then on the back they took off the digital output. So you see, I have two video outs on that
Yeah.
thing. One of them is digital. This
Mm-hmm.
is the GameCube came out before HDMI, so it wasn't an HDMI. It was a component cable, which was the
Mm-hmm.
RGB and then stereo audio. So five instead of the
Yeah.
three yellow, red, white.
Yeah.
Um, so you could output to 720 or something like that with
Mm-hmm.
components. But there weren't a whole lot of TVs that used it. The cables were really expensive.
Oh, I know.
No one used it.
Yeah. Trying to find it,
The
how to
Wii,
stream it.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. The Wii also didn't have HDMI until the very end. The Wii had a couple refreshes there, but all of them were just side grades.
Yeah.
Like they're downgrades
Made
rather.
it to a
They took
slim.
the GameCube off at the top. They turned it into a slim, and then at the very end of the life cycle, they had that little red square Wii
Oh,
or
I do
Wii.
remember that.
Yeah, and that one just had an HDMI output on it. I don't think it actually had the component that the Wii had. I could be wrong. I didn't have
I
it.
don't think so. Yeah, I think it was
The
just
Wii U, of
HDMI.
course, didn't do anything. The DS. So where it gets interesting again, the DS had the DSi,
Yep.
which was the DS with internet or something, and it could play
No, there was the DS, the
different games.
DS Lite,
Yeah, DS, DS Lite,
then DS.
DSi,
Yeah,
DSi XL, DSi Lite. I think no,
it was just a
no, there wasn't a
DSi,
DSi Lite.
DSi XL. Then it was 3DS.
3DS XL, new
New
3DS, new 3DS
3DS
XL,
XL.
2DS, new 2DS XL.
Did they
It was a
actually do that
2DS with a
one?
clamp. It was a big 2DS with a
Oh
clamshell.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I was like, wait, they made a bigger one of those? Oh, I
And it
remember
was
that.
really cool because I mean, like towards the end, no one used the 3D, so
Nobody used the 3D at all.
I did. I actually liked it a lot. Like on games like Star Fox, it was great. Um,
Sure, the three games the 3D was actually good on. We turned
I
on the 3D.
usually played with 3D on. I usually played with it on. But going back even further than that, you had the Game Boy Advance, which had the Game Boy
Oh, true.
Advance SP, and then there were like three versions of the Game Boy Advance SP, and then there was the Game Boy Micro, which I just showed mine.
And there's the Game Boy,
Um,
then the Game Boy Color.
yeah.
So they do a lot of those things,
Yeah.
but they didn't
So
do it with
it
the
yeah,
Switch.
it made sense to do it with the Switch back in like 2019, because what what you'd normally do, right, is so I'm gonna plug myself again here. My actual day job is I work at I work at a large PC manufacturer. So I don't think I have. Yeah, I have one back here, but you totally can't see the logo on it. Um, but so what happens with manufacturing hardware a lot of the time is you get a contract with an ODM, and you contract with them for a specific set of time and a specific set of parts.
Mm-hmm.
So you say you're gonna get these parts, you're gonna put them together this way, and you're gonna ship them like that, and you're gonna do that for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the contract you have with Foxconn or Quanta or whatever your ODM
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah.
Those big manufacturers out there in China. Um, and typically those contracts are only for a couple years because the hardware gets harder to find. One, because like processor manufacturers don't just make those things forever.
Yeah.
Um, Stuff like the little integrated circuits that control the USB-C or the sound or the stuff that translates the video signals to the screen or the Bluetooth chips, the Wi-Fi chips, that stuff. All of those have different manufacturers, and those manufacturers only manufacture them for so long. And so it makes sense to do a midlife refresh, because really what's happening is you're running out of time to
Yeah.
make the original product
Yeah.
because no one makes the components anymore. And so stuff got weird with the pandemic
Yeah.
and the Switch coming out when it did, and then just how well the Switch did. Um, but like when the Switch first came out, it used an NVIDIA Tegra X, I think.
Yeah. I knew it
The
was Integra.
X2, the NVIDIA Tegra X2 came out the month before the Switch launched.
Yes.
And so everybody was just like, oh man, if Nintendo would have waited 4 months, they could have done this or that. Or in 2 years, we're going to have a Switch Pro with a Tegra X2, Tegra X3, whatever
Yeah.
NVIDIA did after that. And NVIDIA makes those Tegras for their own products. Like they still make NVIDIA Shields. You can buy them
You can still
today.
buy them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can probably flash them with the Switch OS and it'd probably work. Um, which is how the Switch got hacked so quickly, is because it was like Android
Yeah.
um, on a Tegra. So,
Yeah.
but so anyway, but so what Nintendo did instead is they made several different hardware revisions of the Switch. Like a year or two after the Switch came out, they had the Switch with the better battery. You remember that? Then they
Yeah.
had the OLED Switch,
The
the
OLED.
current one, the Switch Lite. So the OLED and the Switch Lite are the two current ones. I think they still sell bigger battery Switch. Um,
Ooh. I don't think I've seen one for a
I
while.
think I saw one like a month or two ago.
It's always been the OLEDs when I go.
Yeah, it's mostly the OLEDs, but the OLEDs have different packaging, so it's easier to tell them apart
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
least. And then the Switch Lights, I think there's probably at least two hardware revisions of now. I don't know that, but it would just make sense.
Mm.
They've certainly done different colors since launch.
Yeah.
So every time they make a new color, it would just make sense to have new hardware in there. Um, they've certainly done new controllers, new Joy Cons. Like the newer ones are not the same as the originals. Um, all that stuff. So all of that, just the whole time, was pointing towards a Switch 2. but then it never came.
And then it never
And it's
came.
it's been 6 years now, almost. Like next month, it will have been 6 year. 2 months from now, it'll be
It
six
was
years.
2 months
Or was it
ago,
last
or
month?
no, it was
2 months ago.
this month. It came, or no, it came
Was
out
it?
in March.
No,
It came
I
out in
don't know,
March.
man.
It was
Was
March
it March? Okay,
2017.
so 6 years and a month ago,
6 years and a month ago.
but then it never came. And so that's part of why all of these, ooh, the Switch Pro's coming out, ooh, the Switch 2's coming every 2 weeks for the last 6 years has been so frustrating because I mean, working at the company I do, it's like a lot of this is kind of credible. It would make sense
It
for
would
them
make
to do it
sense.
now, but then they don't.
Well, as reference, PS4 to PS5 was almost exactly 7 years.
Sure, but the PS4 had the PS4 Pro and the
Pro
PS4
and
Slim.
yes.
I have a Pro. I don't have a 4. I got a
Let's
4
see.
Pro.
PS3 release date.
The Xbox One also had the Xbox One S and Xbox One X. So that was the Xbox One's midlife refresh. There's talks about a PS5 Pro coming out next year.
Jeez. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
the
Just think about that.
PS3 came out in November 2006 in Japan and 2000 March 2007 in everywhere else.
Yeah.
Wait, in Japan, March 7th. Oh, okay. So November 11th for Japan, November 17th for North America, and then everywhere else. So that one was also what, 7 years, 6, 7 ish
Sorry,
years.
for which console?
From 3 to 4, and then 4 to 5 are all 6 years.
Yeah. The
Ish.
PS3 had a couple different ones as well.
You had the Slim and
I don't know those ones as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a Slim. I think it was just the Slim. But then there were like two versions of the launch PS3.
yes.
The one with the silver trim and the one without the silver trim or something like that.
I think we have
Because
the
only
silver
one
trim
of them is
one.
backwards compatible with the PS2 games,
And that's the one I think we
which
have.
is always weird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
So
So that's a very rare PS3 that you guys have. Never get rid of it.
never get rid of it.
It's
It'll be
expensive,
$1 million
man. Oh,
someday.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw something. It was like some game store was selling the inbox. Not they've been open, but inbox like Pokemon games for like $100 for like the DS games.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah. You know, I think mom and dad still have all of the boxes from our Pokemon games. So if you ever want to sell them, they've
yeah,
got the Pokemon Red box
somewhere.
and
Well,
yellow. It's in the garage.
see, but those, yeah. So they have them, but those aren't to the ones that I have. Those were the
No,
ones
no,
you
those
bought.
are the ones I have.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was thinking about it. I was tight for cash, and I was like, nah, I won't. I'll wait until they're $200 each, and then I'll sell them.
You better not sell my boxes. Those are my boxes.
No, I was my games.
Oh, your games. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I haven't played these in like 4 years, but I was like, maybe someday I'll want to go back and play them. And then I got a job, and I was like, I don't really need to sell them anymore. So,
well, so a lot of what I've been doing lately is just like ripping all of my games so that I have digital copies of them. I can do that for every console I own except the N64 right now.
Heck yeah, maybe I should send over some of these games for you that I found up.
Yeah,
But
chances are I already have them.
Switch 2, one of the things I'm like, the reason they haven't announced it. I think they would have announced it, but since they're doing the Tears of the Kingdom Switch, they want the Tears of the Kingdom Switch to sell out. If they announced the Switch 2, it would not sell out. It would do terrible.
My big suspicion is that the Switch 2 wasn't ready in time for Tears of the Kingdom. Like, because just imagine the Breath of the Wild was the launch game for the Switch. Then Tears of the Kingdom comes out, and it could have been the launch game for the Switch 2. But it probably wasn't ready in time, or they started it too late, or maybe just Tears of the Kingdom because it's only a $70 mod, not a whole game. maybe it was just done super soon and they wanted to get it out the door. Who
I'm
knows?
sure. I'm sure if they wanted to do it for a new console, it would take a little bit to get it up to the next one as well. They're probably like already far enough in development for it and everything.
Well,
Um,
that's what happened. That's what happened with Breath of the Wild, though. It was a Wii U game, right?
yeah, true, true. I mean, but they were
But
probably they were trying to get rid of the Wii U so fast. They were like, just throw it
yeah,
out of the Switch.
the difference is the Switch is actually doing good.
Yeah. So I think what they might do is they might do what they did for Twilight Princess, because it wasn't a launch title, but it came out so close to the Wii that it had its thing. It was like it kind of like one of those straddle ones where it straddled
Yeah,
two consoles generations. So I think that's what they're gonna do personally.
if I remember right, that one they had like some sort of technical issue with the Wii U port or the Wii port, because it was funny. The Wii port, they flipped the map left to right, because Link is a lefty, but
Oh
most people are
yeah.
right-handed.
So they just flipped it.
So they flipped the entire world left to right because it was easier than remaking the physics of the game so that Link could be right-handed.
Oh, that's like such a coder
Yeah,
thing to do.
yeah.
They're
Well,
like,
it
okay.
was probably a business decision, but look in like the poster behind me is my left hand right here. That's Link's sword arm right there. So him on the horse right
But
there. It's
even the
his sword.
Twilight Princess one, it didn't have motion controls, did it?
Yep, it did.
It did.
It was very basic because it was like the original Wii. So you just
I
swung the Wiimote and it would do a horizontal slash. You'd swing it up and down, it would do a vertical slash. That was it. You couldn't do the
I,
diagonals
I know
that
you could aim.
yeah, aiming actually worked pretty well. Um
Hmm.
but yeah, you swung the sword to swing the sword. That was a thing.
But that's what I think they're doing with the Switch 2. They want Tears of the Kingdom to do well, and then they'll sell the Switch 2, and then they'll make it like a straddle one and make it have some like new thing with it or whatever, and then people will buy the Switch 2 to play.
Well, I'm what would be like diabolical for Nintendo to do. Diabolical. So Tears of the Kingdom comes out on May 12th, right? E3 would have been after that. Of course, E3 got canceled this year,
Canceled,
but
yeah.
Nintendo doesn't go to it anyway. That's in what, like late June,
Yeah,
something like that.
early July or something like
Um,
that.
so Tears of the Kingdom comes out in May. Everyone buys their OLED Tears of the Kingdom Switch and their $70 DLC, and then they announce the Switch 2 a month later so that they get that first month sale going. And uh, at E3, they announced the Switch 2 version of Tears of the Kingdom so that all of the dumbasses like me um, buy both versions because, of course, I will.
Are you gonna get the OLED?
Oh God, no.
Okay, okay.
I have a Switch. I don't need more than.
I don't need it at all.
Well, so that's a good question actually, because that brings me back to something I mentioned before. Right, I've been ripping all my games and stuff. I have a launch Switch,
Yeah.
which is, as far as I'm aware, the only Switch you can actually hack, because it's a hardware exploit that causes a kernel panic and a dump. They fixed it in later Switch revisions. So I have one of those.
I gotta
I
launch
can
one.
do that exploit. Yep. Yep. I've stood in line for it. I could do that. And if I was to do that, just because of the nature of the exploit, I would probably want a second Switch.
Oh yeah, a lot of like the big like streamer and YouTubers. That's what they did. They had one that was hacked and one that wasn't.
The only friend I have that has hacked their Switch has two Switches.
Yeah,
So he bought two, one to hack and one to not.
that's fair.
Um,
You know what they say: exploit early, exploit often, right?
I don't think they say that.
Oh, they say that, bro.
Oh, do they?
Especially in the World of Warcraft, Blizzard
Oh, yeah,
community.
sure, sure, sure.
Exploit early, exploit often. So
But so if I ever was to do that, yes, I probably will eventually buy a Switch, a second Switch. But then if the Switch 2 comes out, maybe I don't have to.
yeah, that's what I'm
So
like. The OLED looks
I'm
so
waiting
good.
and seeing.
Have you seen the Tears of the Kingdom OLED? It looks really nice.
Oh, like the design?
The
Yeah, I
design,
have it.
yeah.
It does look a lot cooler than the like the other Switches they've done. Like the Animal Crossing one's pretty decent, I think.
I like the Animal Crossing
Like
one a lot. I
it's
was
like
this
passable,
close to
but
getting it. I was
yeah,
this close.
yeah. But like a lot of the other ones, like the Mario one that they did for Mario Day this year, it's like a normal Switch with red controllers,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, I yeah, I don't
It's
know.
like,
I'm
why even get it, you know?
why even bother? Like my Switch is old. Like
Oh, man.
I have the Joy-Con wireless signal problem. I never sent my Joy-Cons in for repair, so my left Joy-Con still cannot connect to the Switch if it's more than like 10 feet away,
Oh, I've never tried,
because
so I
it's
wouldn't
not
know.
properly shielded. Oh yeah, yeah. No, if I tested this once. If I uh, was just holding the Joy-Con right, like 5 feet away from my Switch, and I put it behind the couch, it would instantly lose connection. I do it with the right controller, I'd still be able to move. Left controller,
Okay.
come back up, reconnect.
I think mine did that. I think if I put too many things between it and the
Yeah,
console, this connection. But mine never drifted. Mine never drifted.
mine have also never drifted. So, and
So
that's another thing, like I was talking about with hardware revisions. That's a hardware revision right there. The new Joy Cons don't do that, I don't think.
yeah, yeah. It was just the old ones. So man, I'm looking forward to the Switch 2. Have you seen the ROG Ally? Is that what it's called?
Ally Alloy maybe,
I think it's
but
the
yeah, I've seen it.
Ally.
I've seen it.
Another Switch competitor. That's more of a Steam
Yeah,
Deck competitor, but
it's a Switch killer.
oh man. I
I
mean, it looks cool, but I wouldn't
I
pick it
have
up.
a Steam Deck. Like I really like my Steam Deck. Um, I probably will end up playing it more than my Switch. Bar the obvious Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, yeah.
But Switch is an old console now,
So
6 years old. It's not really getting as many great new games
it
anymore.
it didn't age
So,
very well hardware wise.
well, yeah. I mean, when it came out, it was already like as powerful as the Wii U. Was the funny thing.
That's so
So
sad.
yeah, yeah. We didn't get a hardware upgrade with Switch Wii U to Switch. Well, it was a lot faster in the storage. The
No,
storage was so much faster, but hardware wise, no, it was not an upgrade. Processing power wise.
now I would just love for them to release the Switch 2 and a Switch 2 like Pro right off the bat or something. They won't do it. But I just want one where I spend a couple hundred extra dollars and then I can actually play a game 1080p 60 frames per second when I throw it on my TV. Like, is that too much to ask for, man?
Apparently, apparently, man.
I
But like, and that's another fun thing, right? When the OLED came out, the um, the DisplayPort adapter in the OLED dock was 4K capable. So when that happened, all of those rumors started up again. Oh, they're doing a Switch Pro. Oh, they're doing a 4K Switch. And no, it just never happened.
it just never happened.
Um, but like because they're using off the shelf parts for these docks, and people can just look up the data
Yeah.
sheets, and that's what's in there. It's a 4K capable uh, converter thing. Converts DisplayPort from the chip into HDMI for the output. Different
Yeah. For the
protocols.
Switch 2, 1080p screen has to be, right? Or do you think they're going to stick with their weird 720? Like the Steam Deck's
I
only like 720, right?
Steam Deck's only 720 as well. I never thought that the Switch screen was too small. Like hot take there, I guess. I always thought the Switch screen was just fine. It was a high enough quality screen was the big thing that even at 720 the games looked fine.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't
I
think it
don't
was
know.
bad,
That's a
but it
really good
wasn't
question.
good.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Like I think that's the best way to describe that.
Stuff looked decent on it,
Yeah.
and with like the panel quality in the OLED switch, because it's an OLED panel now, right? That's higher quality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's there's a lot of ways Nintendo could go about this, but it's predicting what Nintendo does is just a fool's errand in the first place.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
for sure, for sure. You know, next thing we know, they're gonna come out with the Wii U 2, and they're gonna expect it to do as good as the Switch. And they're like, I thought you guys wanted this. It's a portable thing and a console. You guys wanted both.
Yeah. I, I mean, I'd be okay with it. I actually liked the Wii U. If they could get rid of, if they could give it some higher processing power and get rid of the bad load times, and then like actually make it portable, like
Have some
so
good
the
games.
so it'd basically be like a Switch with a wireless dock, right?
Yeah.
So it could display while docked to the TV. Um, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Oh, I do remember. I remember I told you that Nintendo signed a deal with Activision to bring the Call of Duty games to Nintendo consoles.
Yes,
There's no
and the Switch
freaking
is
way.
not capable. No, absolutely not.
Heck, freaking my 4080 would probably have troubles running the stupid newest Call of Duty.
Yeah, unless because like there's Call of Duty Mobile, right? Maybe that's
Sure.
the Call of Duty game they were thinking of.
Yeah, that would have to be. I'm sure it would struggle running Call of Duty
Well,
freaking mobile.
because like I said, the Switch is just an Nvidia Shield.
Yeah.
It's an ARM chip with probably some version of Android on it. It's trivial to
Yeah,
port that kind of stuff over
so that would be
because
pretty
it
good.
already works. It already runs.
I'm sure that's probably what it was then. Because there's just absolutely far back do you think they'd have to go to get a Call of Duty game to run on that? It would probably be back to like the you'd have to put a PS3 Xbox 360 game onto there to get it to run.
Which they could do, right? There's a huge market for that kind of. I mean, they've remastered all of the modern, well, the first two Modern Warfare games, right? And those are selling like hotcakes. Um,
Well, they
even though
remade
those are
them.
already included
Oh
in
no, they did
games.
remaster them too, didn't they? Yeah. But the stupid thing I
Oh yeah,
remember
the new ones are remakes, aren't they? Because they have different stories.
so I remember when they came out, they did remaster them, but they sold them in bundles with certain Call of Duties, and those
Yeah,
were the Call of Duties I didn't want to get, so I
yeah.
never got them.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So, well, and I just never really played Call of Duty. The only Call of Duty I ever played was, I think, Call of Duty 3 for the Wii. So,
Oh
yeah,
no,
date
bro.
myself there. Yeah, that was a fun game. Oh, man.
So yeah, that's probably what they mean when they were gonna bring Activision games on was Call of Duty Mobile.
Maybe, but then maybe they're going to put Modern Warfare 2 on the Switch too.
Who knows? I mean, hmm.
It could be either. I
I'm
wouldn't
sure
be
they could get it
surprised
to
either.
run if they really, really wanted to. If they truly wanted to put $1 billion into it to get it to run, they could.
Yeah.
But I just hope the Switch 2 is good, man. I just like, I want a Switch 2. Like, I'm like, I got my pumped up computer over here. I don't want to go play the 720 on my Switch that's 6 years old and it's going to have a cramp playing its $70 DLC in a month. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
take it out for a test drive. So it's like, you take a car out, you get it to go
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
It's not all rusty anymore. I feel bad. It's like sitting right here, man.
Yeah.
I have the same
Mine
screen
downstairs.
protector that I put on day one. It still has
Yep.
it,
Same
and,
here.
and it still has the little bubble of with something underneath it. I've had that for 6 years.
Hmm.
It's been on the Switch
Mine,
screen for 6 years.
yep,
Oh my!
mine too. Although I did a better job, and I don't think I have as many bubbles onto mine. So
Yeah, I did. I was
I got one
sad.
of the nice glass ones.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just get another one.
6 years later.
6 years later. And I think Brittany got she got her Switch Lite this last Christmas actually.
Hmm.
So, she's been playing that and stuff. So,
Yeah, and I thought the Switch Lite was such a good idea, man. But then when they said that you can't dock it, you cannot connect it to a TV, I was just like,
it was like, why get it?
oh, I get it.
Because I think now I almost exclusively play my Switch docked now. Back when it first
Yeah.
came out, I like almost exclusively played just on the game on the console itself.
Yeah.
Now I think I only play it docked.
Yeah. Well, because like just it's a 1080 game, and I've got a 4K TV, so
It looks
the TV does its own little upscaling, but it just looks bad sometimes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it looks when I'm gonna be playing on some Switch hooked up to a 1080p um, capture card. Gonna
Hmm.
put it on my 2K monitor and stream that out to 1080p to Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just wonder how that's gonna look.
I'm yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm gonna be well because no, because the capture card is before the monitor, so you'll just capture the 1080 from the console and stream that. But you're gonna be looking at the 4K or
I'll
the
be
2K.
I'll be looking at the 2K and it'll be streaming. So it won't be too bad. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, because you'll capture it native.
Because what's nice too with this capture card, I can pull up the actual game and I can listen to it on my monitor without having the speakers and everything. It's pretty nice. But all right, let's move on from Switch 2. We were there for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we talked a lot about the letdowns, so I think we're gonna switch to the Mario portion of this podcast. So you told me you watched the Mario movie.
I watched the Mario movie.
Without giving any spoilers, which one was better? The new or the old Mario movie?
The new one, hands down, like by a long shot.
Not
The
even
old one's
close.
so bad. Yeah, the old one's so bad. Um, to be fair though, I have not seen the old one since I was a kid,
Oh, it's been so
so
long.
maybe I remember it wrong.
I swear it was golden. It was classic. I
Um,
can't believe it flopped.
yeah, I guess without spoilers, Chris Pratt's voice isn't that bad. It's fine.
That's what I've heard.
It's definitely a kids movie though, so
Yeah.
don't go in with super high expectations. But it's a good kids movie. It's like the Sonic movie. To be honest, it's good.
So I'm gonna like it. That's what
Yeah, you
that's
watch
what
it
I
the
heard a
one
lot
time.
of. Yeah, you watch it one time and that's good enough for
Yeah,
me.
that's good though.
Because I heard that's why the critic reviews are so bad. They went in thinking it was gonna be like this peak cinema, like not kids movie, all that jazz, and it's like no, it's still
Yeah,
a kids movie. You know.
classic case of just ridiculous
So
expectations.
let me pull up
Um,
the Metacritic Mario movie. So the audience score is an 8.7 and the critic score is a 46.
yes, like I don't get it. 8.7 out of 10, right?
8.7 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So an
It's like
87
I
and
don't
a,
get it. It was fine. You know, nothing bad with it.
yeah, I mean
It
it's
was
similar to those other movies where it was like Metascore and user scores were like
done a
really
lot
weird.
of them lately.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's just the movie critics recently have just been super out of touch with what
Oh, for sure.
people actually like. And like maybe it's just like you said, they're all expecting high art, and then they go into Shrek 4.
Hey, then they'd give it a 9
Then they give it a 9 out
9,000.
of 10,
Yeah.
and then or 10 out of 10,
10 out of
excuse
10.
me.
Yeah, my bad.
And then they go into what else has come out recently?
Let's see.
I
What
don't,
other movies are there? Then they
I
go
don't
into
even.
the Ant-Man.
Yeah,
That one I heard is not the best. I don't even know what movies have
yeah,
freaking come out.
yeah. I yeah, I don't know.
They go into John Wick 4 expecting it to be just a brainless shoot 'em up, and it's actually peak cinema. And they give it a
Right.
4 out of 10 because it wasn't just a shoot 'em up movie.
Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, Joe Blow, who went and saw it like after work one day with his buddies, is like, "Heck yeah, that was great. I don't care what it was, but I liked it.
That was the best
10
movie
out
I've
of
ever
10.
seen. Best
Best
movie
movie
I've
I've
seen
seen
all
this week."
year.
Yeah,
He's gone and seen 2 movies this year.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
So I don't know.
I'm excited to see. I think we're gonna try this weekend. Give it some time so all the kids aren't there. Last time when we went to see
Us.
Sonic, there was
Mm,
kids running around, kids
mm, Sonic
screaming,
Speed.
and it
Gotta go
was
fast.
like their parents didn't care. I think one of the families, their parents left, and they just left the kids in there, and it was like,
Oh.
really, guys?
Well, at least at the showing I went to, we went down to Westminster, I think, to watch it.
Oh, the big nice one.
The big screen, yeah. Well, the big one. It wasn't the nice theater, but
Oh, it was the big one though.
it's yeah, it's the big one. That anyway. There weren't a whole lot of kids there.
Probably just because of
Like
that
there
theater.
was a family of kids that was sitting right next to us, but they were pretty quiet the whole time, and then they left halfway through. It's like, oh, okay,
Okay. They're like, this
sure.
didn't meet up to my cinematic expectations as a child.
My 5-year-old only needs Criterion Collection level grade movies. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, we're gonna try to go see that this weekend. We're gonna see how good it is, all that jazz. We're gonna have some fun. I'm going in to expect a fun little movie, and I think I'm gonna be pretty
Yeah,
happy with it.
it's a fun little movie. That's it. We'll see it the one time. We'll probably never watch it again.
Probably never watch it again. Not how I have
But I enjoyed it
Sonic.
the one time I watched it.
Sonic
So.
always running over there on a screen, only made for watching the Sonic movies and repeat. you know, just over there.
Yeah. Well, hey, hey. We'll just turn this way
Oh
so it's
no,
in my
Sonic.
Amogus and my Sonic the Hedgehog wall scroll. You know what team I'm on? Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario at the Olympic Games. You know what team I'm on.
True, true, true.
Whatever team has Big the cat.
Oh my goodness. So we talked Zelda, we've talked Mario. Time to talk Pokemon.
Oh boy,
Did you purchase the most recent Pokemon games?
Scarlet and Violet. No.
And why did you not?
I was so disappointed with Sun or Sword and Shield.
Okay.
Like I just hated those games. The only thing I liked about it was the open area, which I
Okay.
get.
Is the whole
Scarlet
point.
and Violet's basically the whole thing, right?
It's just the open area.
But like back in my day, okay,
Okay.
yeah, put on my boomer hat here. My my first game when mom and dad bought me and our sister Game Boy Colors for Christmas.
Sure.
The games we had were Pokemon Red and Pokemon Yellow. And so I played those a
Sure.
lot. I've beaten that game so many times. And like the mazes in that game are hard. The puzzles in that game are hard. Like it still takes me a couple minutes to think through some of those boulder puzzles.
Sure.
And I've played the game like 20 times. I can navigate my way through Dark Tunnel blindfolded
Yeah.
just by like listening to me thunking against the wall.
Boom, boom. Oh yeah.
But it still takes like 30 minutes to go through it. And then there was Sword and Shield, where the most challenging puzzle was like, how do I get all of these sheep into the goal in that gym?
You would
Or
absolutely hate the gym puzzles in Scarlet and Violet.
the most challenging maze was like a straight line with two branches in Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, no thanks. Next game.
I think the worst puzzle in Scarlet and Violet is they made you do yoga. And what they did is they, you had your X, Y, A, B, right? You'd have to match with which one was being put, and every time you pushed it, it stopped. Like you had like a timer that you go, and every time you pushed a button, it would stop the timer for like an input, so you could infinitely freeze the timer, and it didn't matter if you pressed the right or the wrong button. So you could just like spam. It was so bad. I hated it so much. Is easily the worst one in like any Pokemon game. Was the stupid yoga exercise you had to do.
Like when they started doing these alternate gyms in, what was that, Sun and Moon? Like I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Let's shake it up a little bit, right? There's, still battles that you do. There's still trainers. It's just, you're doing a little merit badge thing
Yeah.
on the side now. But Sword and Shield. Oh, and the other thing that really got my goat.
Yeah, get him.
That got, what was the goat Pokemon's name?
Go.
Go. The thing that really got my goat. It really doesn't work when I have to ask for it. Like the whole, I'm going to compare it to Red and Blue again, but like the whole thing in Red and Blue is like there's this Team Rocket there, and they're being evil, and they're stealing Pokemon, and they're blocking roads and being disruptive, and you're just like this 10-year-old kid, and you're like, yeah, bring it. And then they bring it, and you kick their butts
ass,
and
yeah.
wipe the floor with them, and your rival's there for some reason not helping you but being a dick, and it's like, okay, whatever, I'll beat you too.
Sure.
And then you do, and you save the world, and then you go catch Mewtwo, who's like this weird genetic experiment that's going to destroy the world because he's just like angry.
Yeah.
At
Sure.
Team Rocket specifically. And you go catch him too, and you become friends. And it's like, yeah, I did that, me. And then Sword and Shield, like I remember distinctly at one point, there's like this big explosion or something off screen, and it's during a cutscene with one of the adults that's always following you around for some reason. And they like look at it and go, "Oh shit, time to go save the world," and just run off. And you're just like, okay, I guess I'll just
Continue my journey.
catch some Pokemon then. It's like, come on.
Okay, don't dog on Team Yell though. Team Yell was goated.
Team Yellow was great. I liked Team Yellow.
Team Yell, Team Skull, also amazing.
Team Skull was also pretty good.
I
Although
don't
they weren't the
think
bad guys of that game. It was
true.
obviously, they were obviously the good guys.
True.
The only Pokemon Center in Pokemon you had to pay to use.
You had to pay to use it.
So of course you'd fly there every time just to use that one.
Oh yeah, it was cheap. So, but I don't think a single like villain organization has ever been bad so far. But they've always nailed it.
Team Galactics were like Team. What was it? Team. What was X and Y's bad guys? Team Flare.
Flare, yeah.
I mean, they were like, yeah, let's kill everybody.
Hell yeah, fuck them. Sorry.
Love you, Mom. There's a couple bad ones, right? Like,
okay.
Team Rocket's like actively trafficking Pokemon.
I mean, like,
And
there's
then,
never been a bad designed one. They've always been good designs.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not like bad people.
Sure.
They definitely were bad people.
Well, okay, so Ruby Sapphire's teams, though. Let's talk about those. Team Aqua and Team Magma. Oh man,
They were just
you ever you,
based and ahead of their times.
you ever see that that meme that's just like the scene where Kyogre and Groudon have woken up and they're in, I forget what the city's name is, but it's the one in the crater.
Yeah.
And it's just like them shit talking each other, and then Rayquaza comes down. And he's like, "Shut the up!"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He just smacks him around. Oh man, it's so funny. Just like the whole aesthetic behind that game was so good.
Such a good game.
Um, and like it was the perfect sequel to a Pokemon game. It was a lot more focused. It was still difficult for Kid.
Sure.
You know, none of the trainer battles are difficult
No.
anymore, and I think it was actually the easiest Elite Four, um, for me at least. It had the lowest level ceiling, I think, of any Elite Four, because the lowest level Pokemon in the first Elite Four guy was 45,
Like 40 something,
which is
yeah.
not high. 45.
Usually it was
I remember
like
that specifically.
usually it was
Yeah,
much
they're in the
higher.
50s. Yeah.
Now, I agree with you. Sword and Shield didn't like it very much. The way I did enjoy it was doing Nuzlocks. Sword and Shield Nuzlocke was actually a shit ton of fun. So, because I
I don't know.
failed it several times.
I've just never really been a fan of Nuzlocke. Is the
That's
thing.
fair. That's fair. But I thought Nuzlocking in Scarlet and Violet wasn't as fun as Sword and Shield and like the traditional ones. But
One thing I did really enjoy though is that one time we did the uh, randomizer for Gen 3. You remember that?
oh yeah,
That we
yeah.
that we none of us ever
No, we
finished.
never finished it.
I still have the ROM. It's on my because I wrote it to a flash cartridge and I've just been playing it on real hardware.
Yeah,
Which is why I never streamed it. So
it was fun.
good stuff. It was fun. It was really fun.
I never got into
For me,
the fan made games either. No, it wasn't for me.
figure those are probably pretty good though. But I also kind of figure those are probably a lot more combat focused because that's in the at the
Yeah,
end of the day what that's what Pokemon's about. It's not about exploring the world. It's not about catching them all. It's about you're a little kid that's taking on the world of illegal cockfighting, and
it's
that's what
true.
you're doing.
Yeah,
And you're doing it with dragons. That's just Pokemon.
yeah. One of the ones that's taken off recently, they made a roguelike out of a Pokemon game. It's actually really interesting, and
What's that one called?
it's called Pokemon Emerald Rogue, I think.
Oh, so it's a ROM hack. Okay.
Yeah, it's a ROM hack. So they have like I think they have Pokemon through Gen 5 or no,
Oh wow.
Gen no, through Sun and Moon, I think. Through Sun and Moon. They might have Sword and Shield in there, I don't remember. They definitely have through Sun and Moon. I'm pretty sure. Um but yeah, it's like you have to face all of the gym leaders and all of the Elite Four, but it's in a random order, and they have different Pokemon each time, and you get random Pokemon each time, and like if they die, you lose it forever and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. I watched
Okay.
a few
That
people
was
play
kind of
it,
neat.
but I was like, I'm not good enough at the Pokemon battles to do this.
No, not, so all right. In college, right when X and Y came out, like X and Y, I think was the last Pokemon game I really liked.
It
Sun
was
and
a
Moon
good
was
game.
okay. Um, Me and a bunch of friends started a Pokemon League in college.
Okay.
Oh man! So first off, cringe. Second off, um, so we each picked like a type and became gym leaders, and we had like a little tournament going on. My type was poison, and wow, it just showed me how bad I am at this game. Like, I'm good enough to raise my Pokemon up. I'm good enough to, um, beat the
You
game.
beat the game.
I can do it without dying. I can sometimes do it without losing a Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
But Holy shit! Some people are sweat lords at this thing. I did not win a single game. I think I fainted maybe 3 Pokemon total the whole tournament. Oh my god, I was so bad. That was
Yeah.
not fun.
I got into like the whole meta for a little bit. I don't remember when I did, but I got into it. I was like, the theory and everything was super cool.
Yeah.
But it was like, ugh, I don't want to memorize, 1,000 Pokemon, all the hundreds and thousands of moves and combinations. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather go play something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
But
And
I had
you did.
I had a similar experience when I joined the Smash Bros Club. I go in there with my Toon Link, my F tier Toon
Yeah.
Link, and I was like, let's go! And I lost every match.
Yeah. Yeah. I I think I had book club at the same time that Smash Club met, so I never actually went. But I had quite a few friends that were in Smash Club. So yeah,
Yeah, I had a friend. He was
we
like,
played
"Yo,
with
bro,
them.
let's go, let's go." He was really good. He was practicing. He'd actually play it like competitively. So I started practicing, picked up some A tier characters. Pokemon Trainer. Um,
Yeah.
that was, and I still played. I even though my Toon Link was like still better, I think, but I got pretty good at Pokemon Trainer. So, and I would still get. I remember I went against somebody. He'd like won state tournaments or something like that. Like now he was like on the
Yeah.
national level, right?
Yeah.
And
It's just not fun.
I was happy when I took a stock off of him.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was probably like a pity stock too.
Well, and then like so I think oh man, because I think he was playing some guy who was like practicing or something, right? And you could switch characters in, but it was like best of 3 or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
And so first one I was playing Toon Link, I almost beat him or whatever because I was fucking with him, and he was playing some guy he was practicing. Then he switched over to his main, and I don't think I took a stock off him. And he just like absolutely it wasn't even close, and then he like went for the
Yeah.
handshake and like just like left, and he won the tournament, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just like, bro.
Yeah, I went to a Smash tournament in college. I think one time it was at UNC too,
Damn.
which was fun. Um, I got out my main Palutena.
Oh no.
I think I lost my first game, and then that was that. And then they had a Mario Kart tournament, and I did win that, so that was fun.
Oh yeah, they have a
Just,
Mario Kart tournament happening, and it's
oh,
like the winner goes to Vegas, is the prize.
that's a prize.
That's the prize for
I
getting
hate
first
Vegas.
place.
I
So
hate Vegas so much. But that was another. Speaking of the Wii U, that was another great game on the Wii U. Mario Kart 8. Was a Wii U game.
true. One of the few, huh? Could probably count them on my 2 hands.
Yeah, truly great Wii U games. You probably could. That
Because
weren't
they're
remakes.
all on the Switch now. All the good
Yeah,
ones.
yeah,
Or they
but
were
yeah, Mario
remade
Kart.
from the GameCube.
Yeah,
One or
yeah.
the other.
Ah, man.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, but
So
oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah.
Nah.
New topic. We can move on.
Okay, okay. But well, I mean, John and Ben were big into Melee for a bit. I had to drive them to one of their tournaments one
Yeah.
time. And you know what this fucker does? John, I'm like, John, okay, you need to tell me where your exit is, bro. Because I was like, we were dropping them off in Denver while
Yeah.
I was on my way to Boulder to play in a Magic tournament. So I was like, John, you need to tell me where your okay, shush. I need you to tell me where your exit is. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you have it open on Google. Just tell me when the exit is. And he says, this one, as I'm going 70 miles down the road, it is the next one. I pull into it. It's backed up. I slammed on my brakes. Wasn't enough. I had to pull
Man.
over to the side so I didn't hit the car.
Oh man.
All because
That's
John is a
rough.
fucking loser. Wouldn't tell me where to exit. I was like, what's the exit number? How far away is it? I don't know. John, just read the fucking map. It tells
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. That's fun.
And I remember my friend, because my friend was with me, he was like, because I was I was pissed too at John,
Mhm.
and I was like, but whatever, you know,
Yeah.
dropped them off. I think parents picked them up or something like that. It was so funny because we were going to Boulder and we weren't going to be done until
Yeah.
like 6
Because
or
it was
8
a
or
magic
something.
tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so funny. And this is also they were like I think Ben was like in middle school
Yeah.
or
It was a
something
long
still.
time ago.
Or like he was I might have been no, I was definitely a junior at the latest. So Ben was definitely in middle school and I just dropped them off in front of this hotel in Denver. Just like thinking back on it, I'm like,
Oh,
how did
that's
parents let
sketchy,
them?
right? Yeah. Oh
John
man,
was old was a
they
freshman
never would have let
max.
me do that.
Yeah,
They
Ben
never would have let me do
I
that.
was like thinking back on it now, I'm like,
Yeah, calling you out, mom, if you're still in there in the chat.
yeah, we got away with way more than
Yeah,
what
I
you
think
got
she
away
did,
with.
but
Oh yeah, oh they're definitely in bed
you
by
did.
now. Their bedtime was an hour and a half ago. I was surprised they were on talking when they were.
Yeah. Well,
All right,
man, timestamps.
timestamps.
Yeah,
Anything
in the
else you
chat.
would like to talk about? Any topics that you came up with?
Man, want to show off my big AR card over
Oh,
here.
show
Look
off
at
the
those
AR
3DS
card. Why
AR
not?
cards. Yeah. Yeah.
Give us a little history about what the AR cards are, because I'm sure 99% of people don't know.
Yeah. So y'all of course remember the 3DS. It had two cameras on it, right? Just ignore the paper down here. So it had two cameras on it so it could gauge depth because it had binocular vision. And so they had this like AR playground game that shipped with the 3DS,
So
and
bad.
it shipped with this pack of cards, and they had these characters on them, right? And as a My Nintendo reward, you could get a giant ass card, and so you could like put it on the floor, and Mario would be on the card, and because the card was so big, he'd be like this tall in the 3DS screen. You take pictures of it, and so in fact, I was looking through my pictures the other day, and guess what I found?
What'd you find?
I found the pictures that I took on my 3DS of my little
Oh
brother,
no, bro.
of
No
my
way.
little brother
Of me?
standing next to this uh oh yeah, yeah, of you
No
standing next
way.
to this AR card thing.
All right, let's see it. Let's see it.
Let me see if I can find it now. I don't remember where I put it. Uh, but we'll just keep talking. I'm gonna try to find this real quick, and then we'll move on.
I remember you were so excited about those AR things.
Oh man,
He's like,
like
this
I
is
thought
the
it was so cool.
future. All
Yeah.
this
Well, I
stuff.
mean, I thought it was a cool little gimmick,
Yeah,
and it was a cool little gimmick, but that's what it was
that's all
still
it
a
was.
gimmick.
I guess they didn't move it into Pokemon Go, right?
Oh yep, yep,
But
they did.
I got all my stuff right here. We got the Super Nintendo, the N64, the GameCube. We got the Wii U back there. We have a Switch Pro
Yeah,
controller. The let's see. We have the NES is over there. The Wii is also over there, I think. So we got everything here. Like the only consoles we don't have on display down here are like the handhelds. We
all
have
right,
like
you
every
ready
other
for
one.
this?
Oh, do you
You ready for
actually
this?
have it? Let's see it.
I actually have it. All right, I'm gonna see, turn off my camera and share my screen here.
Okay.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's see it.
Here he is, the
Holy
lad himself,
shit.
next to his big brother.
Holy shit. Hey, let me make that. Let me make that big on the fucking.
Yeah, look at that. Oh man.
God damn.
Right? Hey, we got the arm going on over here. You put your arm up. Oh man. It just it was so goofy this stuff. Oh man.
Yeah, Yeti Blood, where are
And
you in
then
this, bro?
well here I am right here. Did it let me
That is
stop that
so
and
funny.
share the new one. Here's me right here. And
Oh my
there's Mario, like I'm
god.
saying. He's just right there. He's still short, but just look at how grainy this picture is. And
Their
I mean,
cameras were
just looking on
not
your stream,
good.
it's like awful. Yeah, like it is the gamma's like way horrible on your on the stream for some reason. But like, oh my goodness, look at that! You can't even tell I have eyes. You have no idea what my shirt says.
No. I think can I even tell? I feel like that's a Monty Python shirt.
I think I don't think so,
Which one is that one?
but I think it's like I think it's my Hokey Pokey Anonymous shirt.
Oh, it might be.
You remember that? But like you can barely tell that's a Coca-Cola logo on the fridge.
God.
There's another on that little red napkin holder
You
that's
can't
right
even
there
tell.
on the counter. That's a Coca-Cola branded napkin holder. You cannot tell.
What the hell?
And yeah, it's just awful.
Guys,
And
look at
then
the stepping on this. Holy.
yeah, and then I guess here's the third one. This is the only other one I have. I only have these three pictures.
It's so bad.
Yeah, just look
Holy
at that.
shit.
Look at that.
Oh
It's
my
just so
god.
funny. And then there's the AR card right there on the ground.
There it is.
And yeah, you just take the picture and you track the AR card and
That's so
it
funny.
was really cool for the time, right? Because this was like
Yeah.
2011 and it was oh man. But that right there, that's what that thing now like folded over on itself. This is that card right here. This is the Mario side, and there's the question mark side. And then they had oh yeah, you have to expand it up there. There you go. Mario side question mark side. But then in the actual 3DS, they had a smaller deck of cards. It's like
I had that one, I think, too.
yeah, every original 3DS came with it, but the new 3DSs didn't.
Didn't.
You had to have your old card deck still to make it work.
It's cursed. Holy
Oh,
shit.
Yeti Blood, what's up?
Yo, he
Did
came,
you
bro.
see those old pictures? You see those pictures of this
Yeah,
kid
he
right
came
here?
in when I think he was here when that
Oh
one. He might
man.
have been here when I was talking shit about him too.
Love you, John. Oh, but yeah, just that old stuff was crazy, man.
You know, Nintendo, true visionaries of the future, right?
True visionaries. I yeah, this is
What
really
can you
funny.
do?
Well, yeah, what can you do?
Fucking
Uh,
Nintendo. Just release the Switch 2. That's
I,
all I'm asking. Please, I'm on my knees.
yeah,
I'm begging you.
yeah. I just it's a bright future out there. We'll say it like that.
It's a dark, dark past with rose tinted
Yeah,
goggles on everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, man, the Virtual Boy was great. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that. Wait, let's not even talk
Don't
about the
worry about
Virtual Boy.
it. It was fantastic.
All right, bro. Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, I think we've dragged this on for
Hitting
long enough
almost the
already.
2 hour mark on the podcast.
Hitting almost the 2 hour mark. Yeah,
All right, bro.
yeah.
Well, thank you for coming out. Thank you for being my guest on the Llama Drama podcast, episode 9.
No problem.
Nintendo with the big bro. You know, we could have got our uncle who works at Nintendo to come on too. That would have been great. Too bad I didn't think about that.
You know, all right, one more thing. I actually fell for that hard once. Um, you remember my friend my friend Derek? You remember him?
Oh, I don't think so. If I saw a picture of him, I
Uh,
probably would.
yeah, probably. So, but he, I used to play Pokemon with him all the time, right?
Sure.
And on his copy of Pokemon, I think it was Blue, he had 6 Mews, and I was always like,
How'd you get those?
"How'd you get those? How'd you get them?" Yeah, my uncle who works at Nintendo got them for me. I was like, "Damn, can you get me some too?" Oh, but I it was just so funny.
Yeah.
I fell for that so hard. It was a good time.
I
It
think
was not a good
everyone's
time, but it
fallen
was
for
good.
that at one point in their lives. Like, you know, my uncle works for
Yeah,
Microsoft, works for
yeah,
Mojang, works
yeah,
for Nintendo.
yeah.
So imagine the one kid where his uncle actually did work for.
Actually work. Yeah. But and it's like I don't think I ever found out how he got those Mews. I'm like I just assume he cheated them in with a Game Shark or something. But he didn't have a Game Shark was the fun thing. At least not that I knew.
Because you couldn't have looked it up.
Yeah, because
Right.
you couldn't get Mew. That was the thing. There was no way to get Mew.
Yeah.
The only way to get it was to go to like an official Nintendo event, and then they'd program the Pokemon into your save file.
Yeah.
That was how you got Mew. That was the only way.
Well,
Or a Game Shark.
besides, yeah, or there's ways to do it where you can like change the code, but that's super advanced and like it was found out
Yeah,
way later, right?
yeah.
So I'm like, how would he get that?
I don't know. I never asked. I don't. I haven't talked to in years. So
Just send him a message. How the fuck did you get those Mews, bro? Please tell me. It wasn't your
yeah,
uncle. I know your uncle didn't work for Nintendo, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, anyway,
All right.
last thing. We're pushing you up to the 2 hour mark.
Pushing up.
Got to get
We're
us a little
hitting that
closer.
2 hour mark. Okay. Well, thanks, bro. Thanks for being on the show. You know,
Yeah,
if you
it was
if you
fun.
ever want to come watch again, you know, we stream it once a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, around then. Um, but thank you again. We're gonna have to have you on the show another time. It was fun.
Yeah, we can talk about I don't know something else I'm autistic for. We'll see.
Well, we'll figure it out eventually. You know,
We'll figure it
maybe I'll
out.
whip out the Pokemon cards and we'll see. Oh, we can talk. I'm sure we can fill a 2 hour block on just Sonic. So
All right. As much fun as I have with Sonic, I'm gonna level with you right now.
okay,
I'm a fake Sonic fan. I don't know anything about Sonic. I just like the meme.
that's fair. You know, who isn't? Who isn't a fake fan these days?
That's true. Me for other things, but just not Sonic.
It's just not Sonic. No, that's fair. Well, thank you again, bro.
I hate platformers. I can't stand them. 2D platformers.
2D.
I
Oh,
can
but
handle
you've
3D
even
ones.
played the 3D ones.
Yeah, the 3D ones are fine. They're fine. But Sonic games are just like
They're pretty bad.
the memes are great, but the games are just okay.
They're pretty bad.
Sonic 06 is my favorite game, and that's it. So
Same.
we can end the
All right, we're ending it there. Sonic 06, great game, best game of all time.
Yep. Matthew, fake Sonic fan,
Fake
doesn't
Sonic
actually know how to
fan.
play Sonic games.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming out watching the 9th episode of the Llama Drama podcast. And thank you, Matt, for being my special guest tonight talking about Nintendo. If this episode isn't taken down by the big company itself, you can watch it on YouTube and Spotify. Or if you want to watch it live, come check me out on Twitch. All the
You
links.
should
Huh?
follow my Twitch
Oh
too.
yeah,
'Cause now-
follow the Lord QWERTY.
yeah, that one.
So the Lord and QWERTY. Go follow his
No
Twitch channel.
punctuation, all lowercase.
All lowercase. He streams some great stuff sometimes.
Some
At
sometimes.
least it's not WoW.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not wow. I'm gonna be
anymore.
streaming modded Breath of the Wild for like the next 3 weeks until Tears of the Kingdom comes out.
So we'll be looking forward to that. So all the links for everything are in my Twitch description, and that my Twitch is also going to be in the YouTube description. So all that jazz. So go give it a watch, guys. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will catch you guys all another time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.